The objective of this report is to identify infant mortality and come up with a recommendation on how we might reframe it and solve it. To set up an overview of the country, Afghanistan holds one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world at 47.8 deaths per 1,000 women, and this report will focus on the rural areas as they make up 73% of the population. Islam is the primary religion of the country, and this will be taken into consideration and how it ties into infant mortality rates. And in reflection to that, the country holds one of the highest fertility rates at 4.3 children per household. The question and how we might reframe it is, how might we reduce infant mortality in Afghanistan and improve conditions for women? When it comes to healthcare facilities, COVID-19 has done its fair share of damage as it has around the world. Of Afghanistan's 2,300 centers, an estimated 17% have been closed due to low funding and losing employees and staff in order to keep them operational. Of the remaining facilities, many of them do not hold or are able to provide the necessary equipment and services in order to help laboring mothers and other medical emergencies, as many of them are not qualified to help anymore. When it comes to midwives, an estimated 11,000 are projected to make an impact against infant mortality, and that is something that the government and other healthcare providers are not able to come up with when it comes to needing funding for them and when it comes to needing volunteers and workers for it. When it comes to education, primary religion within the country is Islam, and this pushes girls to marry at the young age of 15 and stay away from an education, to stay at home. Poor schools do make an impact, as many schools can't afford proper teachings and they are located in unstable environments that make it difficult for young children to move through the terrain to get there. And girls lack getting an education, as the Taliban in recent times has made it harder for young girls to seek out an education. And young girls make about 60% of 3.7 million children left out of an education. And this is reflected in infant mortality in a way that a non-educated woman will estimatedly have 6 children, while an educated woman will have 4 children. And without proper teaching, young girls don't understand how their women's health is important to them. The environment within Afghanistan is not ideal, whether it is seeking out an education or trying to travel to a healthcare facility, as the mountainous terrain makes it difficult to walk or use vehicles. The lack of clean water makes it difficult for women to have labors at home, as 70% of families have access to soap, but this does not do much to reduce the risk of infection, whether it is in basic wounds or in labors at home. The pollution does provide negative effects on health, and with minimal vehicle access on roads, it makes it harder for ambulances to reach rural areas or for rural women to seek out an education in the more localized and suburban areas or somewhere farther away that may be an hour away for them to walk. Who is impacted by this are young women as far as the age of 15 who come from rural areas and low-income backgrounds, who label these experiences of being pregnant as fearful and traumatizing and not something they want to look forward to, and losing infants under the age of 1 traumatizes them to the point where they do not want to seek any more pregnancies, or they seek to flee the country to provide a safer environment for their family. A recommendation or solution to this problem is delivering care packages of small quantities of prenatal vitamins and pregnancy information in the form of graphics, as many women cannot read. And we can achieve this by partnering with nonprofit organizations and donors to obtain these supplies, and workers to provide monthly visits to rural areas to give them vitamins and to spread information about their pregnancies and what to expect, while also providing them a safe place to seek options. And this will lower infant mortality rates.